Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be Game 2 of our Best of 2 series between House of Gamers and XPC Romania.
Yep. So game number one did go to House of Gamers pretty easily, I would say. XPC had a very interesting strategy, which ultimately just didn't pan out for them. I think it was the fault in their lanings mostly that set up for the failures later on. Of course, there were a couple of misspells to be a little bit generous, but XPC were definitely not showing their best in the last game.
Yeah, and it looks like they're in with a different stand-in this time, so that could affect things. I don't know. As far as the draft, to start us off, this opener is what we saw last game coming out from them, but it just didn't work. I think the bigger issue wasn't the Earthshaker and Scarth Mage, but rather how they laned it and the Ancient Apparition that they picked afterwards. If this is their supporting duo, I love it, but this draft is exactly the same as we saw last time, except for this time, the roles are going to be switched as far as sides, and, well, arguably, Shadow Shaman Death Prophet even scarier on the Dire.
Yeah, and Razor is going to get the boot out a little bit early. I believe he was in the second ban phase, but holy crap, XPC, you didn't win the last game. You should try something different. Literally the same picks, and pretty much they're almost the same bans. Banning out the Pugna once again, respecting the
Lycan's
push.
still here.
Oh yeah, Lycan's still here.
What?
Razor took his
LOL?
spot.
I don't know why House of Gamers didn't pick that up. They need to ban this out, or else it's getting picked up one way or another. And if House of Gamers get their hands on it, I am very fearful for XPC. But the draft is exactly the same as what we saw last game. So maybe they just forgot about Lycan? I'm not sure. That's actually blowing my mind. It went so fast and was so similar with the exception of that Razor.
You know, just yesterday, I said that, I think it was yesterday, I said that you would never see Lycan in the third hero portrait slot, but that might just be what's happening right now. XPC, if they don't ban it, then they have to pick it up. If they don't, they're just screwed. There's going to be so much pushing pressure going to be applied towards them. Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman is scary enough, as we saw in the last game. Add a Lycan on top of that, and House of Gamers is going to be rolling over XPC. And in House of Gamers, I guess they just wanted to Death Prophet Shadow Shaman because after that last game, they feel like they're overall a better team. They could afford to, you know, mess around a little bit, perhaps, or even play at a disadvantage for funsies.
I don't know. Like, if they don't pick up this Lycanthrope and they give it away to House of Gamers, it's not like that's an instant win. You should GG out at 0 minutes in, but you have no room for error. If you mess up one spell, and that's not even a joke, if you mess up a team fight and one of those heroes is alive, your tower is going down.
All right, XPC. It should be a pretty easy pick here. They banned out the Viper. I'm inclined to think that one of these teams forgot about the Lycan, and the other one is hoping that the other one forgot about the Lycan.
I don't know, if I'm XPC, I'm picking up the Lycanthrope whether I want it or not, because I don't want House of Gamers to get it by any means.
Yeah, but I feel like for their lineup, it should have been them banning out a Lycan and picking a Viper. That would have been great for them.
Yeah, I would have liked that a lot better too. Gives them a really solid mech carrier, and now they're kind of forced in a very sticky situation where they don't want to pick up the Lycanthrope, but they kind of have to.
And if House of Gamers don't pick up Lycan, then I just don't know what to say anymore. We might as well just quit. It might be a gentleman's agreement to not pick Lycan.
Potentially. I don't know. That would at least make sense to me. Like, I can respect that.
I wasn't actually looking at the chat in the lobby, so I don't know if there was any discussion around that, but XPC, they're going to go Nyx. Oh god, this is going to be a Lycan pick. This is going to be dirty.
I think so too. I don't know. Nyx Assassin, I don't even see it being that good. I mean, you do have two intelligence heroes on the enemy side. Mana Burn's going to be nice, and if you can catch out the Shadow Shaman solo, sure you can get a lot of good kills, and that's nice and all. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get online fast enough. If this Nyx Assassin does not consistently hit more than one hero with his impales, I think the pick could have been better suited to something else. If you're gonna go for teamfight control, maybe pick up a Tidehunter. If you want to find pickoffs, just anything but the Nyx. I think there's heroes that function a lot better.
And also Nyx is so very rarely seen nowadays that you could very easily pick him up later, and what the hell is going on? It must be a gentleman's agreement, because Lycan, do they just not realize that Lycan is banned? Like, it might be that they always ban out Lycan, so they just have it in their minds that he's not in the pool, and they don't realize that this is an exception.
Maybe. I don't know. It's blowing my mind. I don't know. It's really peculiar. I mean, you said that you'd never see a Lycanthrope again in the third pick slot. Well, it looks like that's going to be the same case. We might even be setting up for ourselves a last ban Lycanthrope.
Or they just won't go for it. I mean, House of
Or at all.
Gamers,
Yeah.
House of Gamers, they have the exact same lineup as last time, and now XPC with the Luna. If House of Gamers do pick up that Lycan, then there's going to be not much that XPC could do in order to combat that. Luna is going to be torn to shreds by those wolves, but House of Gamers can pretty much draft the exact same thing as they did last time, with the exception of the Viper.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to try to find a replacement for Viper. It's kind of hard because usually your quote-unquote replacement hero for your Viper is going to be the Razor, your tanky mech carrier to put in towards the mid. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for a Huskar going mid with mech, but I don't think we'll see that. I would love to see that.
Maybe even a Troll?
Troll could work.
Or they're just going to go standard heroes.
Yeah.
Boring heroes. That could happen too.
I don't know. I like both of those as they're really good laners. Troll as well as Huskar put a lot of pressure in lane. Similar to your Razor and Viper, and both are pretty solid mech carriers because they don't really need much mana to spam out their spells. And if they have a bottle, or rather if Troll has a bottle, it's not really a big issue.
You know, if there ever was a game to pick up a Huskar, this would be it. Especially after last game, XPC have the inclination of running a Skywrath Mage solo mid. Huskar is going to have the time of his life there. And even if it's Nyx Assassin mid, Huskar is going to have a great time. And any rotations going towards Huskar, it's all magic damage that's going to be dealt. And, well, it's going to be a Rubik pick for now. House of Gamers is going to shore up their support lineup with that one. Has a couple of okay things to steal. Nothing too impressive, though.
Yeah, there's plenty of good, like, the stuns from Earthshaker and Nyx Assassin are really solid if you could get your hands onto them, but I think you could probably pick up
10 seconds to go.
like, I don't know, I would have liked to see Avenge if they just want a solid single target stunner. Would have been a nice aggressive support for them to run with, and if they're able to get off to an early start, that could be really solid for them. Or if they want just the more all-around hero that can function a little bit better from behind, maybe like a Wraith King. I don't know, it's probably going to be a last ban Lycanthrope, but I think we're just not going to see him this game. If they wanted him, they would have picked him up a long time ago, and I'm crossing my fingers for a Troll or Huskar.
Yeah, I think that would still be a fantastic pickup. Of course, it'll make the lanes a little bit awkward. You would have a Death Prophet tri-lane or a Centaur tri-lane if you do want to put the Huskar mid, but even a Huskar in a safe lane, like, what's the worst that XPC can do about that? Throw an aggressive tri-lane that's really magic heavy in Luna, Earthshaker, Skywrath Mage. Huskar would love that lane. Or at least he's a hero that wouldn't hate that lane. Then there aren't many heroes that don't hate that lane. So Luna, I mean, it's going to give XPC a good amount of late game, but they still have to worry about this push and the early game aggression from House of Gamers. If House of Gamers just pick up one more super aggressive early game hero, i.e. Huskar, then they would be really good in this game. And XPC, they're going to need either to go super late game in like a Spectre pick or something like that, or just pick up a huge early game hero like an Undying.
Yeah, I don't know, Spectre just seems a little too greedy as far as lanes are concerned, and would be absolutely destroyed by pretty much anything that House of Gamers have. The Centaur tri-lane would crush it. Even with Skywrath Mage and Earthshaker babysitting her, she wouldn't be able to go up to the creep wave very effectively. I don't know. It's a really sticky situation if you're in XPC shoes right now.
All right, XPC. I believe that last game was just a fluke, and I believe in you guys to have a much better showing in this game, though. The draft is currently not exactly showing that. They have a lot of magic damage, and House of Gamers, they don't really have a great hero to rush up a pipe. Centaur after a Blink Dagger, perhaps, and that's most likely going to be the build for him. It won't come up for a long time, so XPC will have a nice opening where their magic damage is going to reign supreme. Of course, it will run straight into Rubik's Null Field, and I think this is a game where you get minimal telekinesis and you start getting the Null Field early. And Kunkka is the last pick for XPC, probably going to be their solo mid lane hero.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm okay with Kunkka. He gives them some decent late game as well as the potential to get some aggressive things going on early. A lot more AoE in the team fights, and the last pick is going to be a Lifestealer. Not something I was anticipating, but they have the Lifestealer bomb, and since they're all in the magic damage, if they're not able to get the silence off on Lifestealer, he's going to be pretty much immune to this, and I can see this pick really paying off for them as an aggressive hero.
Yeah, and he's going to protect himself a good deal from the threat of Luna and Kunkka, which for the early stages of the game is, mostly in the Beam, Eclipse, Torrent, that kind of stuff. The physical damage from XPC isn't that high. I mean, they'll have a Luna eventually, but by that time, Lifestealer will be more than happy to man fight with the Luna. It's really the early game for the Lifestealer where he struggles, if at all, but he should have a relatively decent time, especially since he's most likely going to be going against just a Nyx in lane. As we're going to see these lane assignments pan out, as we have Malum up on top supporting, as the Rubik Benzer is going to be on the Lifestealer. Mid lane is going to be Magliv's Gank Train, Death Prophet once again. Bottom lane it's going to be, I don't know how we're going to say this, we're just been calling it like Schliz or something. And Key is going to be the last hero, Shadow Shaman once again.
And on the Radiant side, we are going to have XPC looking for a victory here to tie up the series 1-1. We're going to have Be My Enemy playing in the Luna. We're going to have Sub-Zero, this time not on an Icy hero, on the Skywrath Mage with, let's see, Cell Putzen Pro on the Earthshaker. The mid hero is going to be our Kunkka, played by Freak, and that will leave, last but not least, Marakkari on the Nyx Assassin solo top lane.
30 seconds to go.
He has the boots to keep himself alive, but if he gets caught with the telekinesis, he could very easily go down. Fortunately for him, neither Key nor Malum have any boots, so the Nyx Assassin boot advantage should keep him alive for most of this lane. However, if he does get caught, he's going to get pulled back into a shackle with a very angry Lifestealer. Lifestealer not the best hero at dealing with Nyx Assassin, just because Nyx Assassin is generally more armor than health, at least more so than other heroes. So the Feast isn't going to be doing a ton of damage, but still, he'll have all the time in the world to open the wounds and just go to town with the right clicks. And well, bottom lane double damage, not going to help either side that much, although Sub-Zero is going to secure that, and this time the Centaur is going to get zoned out even more so than last. However, even though he did get shut down last game, he still got a lot of time to farm and had some real huge contributions to his team.
Yeah. Although Nyx Assassin is going to be pretty good as far as armor is concerned, really the best way that he has to keep himself safe is that Spike Carapace, and up against Rage that's going to be more or less useless. So yeah, if he does get caught out, I definitely see him dying. Although this lane is going to be a little bit easier than bottom. I don't know. You have two ranged heroes with the extra damage from Lunar Blessing as well as just the magic damage harass. Neither offlaner should be able to get that much. Although, if a kill happens, I'd expect that to be where it is. Skywrath Mage actually sits mid for a while with that double damage rune and doesn't do much with it except for poking his face in.
It looks like Sub-Zero is not going to actively pressure this lane. The Earthshaker can't really do this. I would like to see the Skywrath Mage and the Earthshaker switch roles right now. Have the Earthshaker do nothing but pulls. Literally just stack the camps as high as they can go. And then have the Skywrath Mage dump his entire mana pool on this Centaur Warrunner. Because Centaur, though he is very tanky, Arcane Bolts level 1 do quite a bit of damage as far as level 1 skills are concerned. Earthshaker is in charge of the pulling now, so they are going to switch up the roles there. This is going to ensure that Luna gets an additional bit of farm, and while Luna getting farm is certainly going to be a lot more useful than securing farm for your Timber that we saw last game, so she could get a quick hand of Midas realistically.
Yeah, this laning situation looks a lot better than the one last game did. It's going to rely very heavily on this Nyx Assassin being able to do something with the offlane, however. He will be able to get his level 6, but his rotations are going to be key. I don't know, I think that in both drafts there's just like this one hero that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, that it doesn't really fit into the draft lineup.
And you know what hero would have fit in both lineups? A Lycan. I kind of want to ask them, in the upcoming pause, which I'm sure is inevitably going to happen. It's like, did you guys forget about Lycan or what happened? But probably not going to end up doing that. We have Malum securing himself an Invis rune that was completely scouted out by this Radiant Observer ward, so this should not be a death onto Nyx unless he just wasn't paying attention. Lifestealer's playing it cool for now, and, well, there's a telekinesis. Gonna throw him back into a shackle. There's the Rage. It's not gonna block this Spike Carapace, but it's not gonna matter. Malum's gonna get a kill onto Massacre, and that was just something that should not have happened. They saw him pick up that rune.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin was playing way too aggressively there. Maybe a little bit of lack of team communication, or he just wasn't paying attention to the map. But when you see one of those X's disappear off of your minimap, something's up. Like, they had plenty of vision. Maybe he just thought he walked through it without picking up any rune and just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Nyx Assassin is a very easy first blood, and although the Rage wasn't necessary since he didn't get off the Carapace beforehand, it was still enough damage to get the Nyx Assassin dead almost instantly. And currently, Centaur, although not picking up as much experience as the Nyx Assassin, sitting one level behind, it's still okay since he didn't die.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to die either. He's just playing so defensively. He will have to worry about long-range fissures to initiate a fight. Eventually a concussive shot from the Skywrath Mage, But yeah, the Centaur is playing super safe, and he's not going to die. It is going to be at the expense of his experience bar. He's going to stay at level 2 for quite a long while, but that's fine. He eventually will get to level 6, and then at that point, a stampeding Lifestealer is absolutely terrifying. Really, the Lifestealer, his largest shortcoming is actually sticking to targets, especially when Force Staves come in and stuff like that. With Stampede, it's going to be no problem at all for him to find a target, open its wounds, and then stick on him.
Yeah, and that target, whoever it is more than likely going to die. He can just run at whoever he wants to go for. Skywrath Mage, a very easy target to focus down, especially since he's not getting that many levels. We saw last game how little HP he had, and especially if the boat buff's not on him, he'll just get ripped to shreds as in mid. Freak, they're going to jump in with the smoke, not going to get in range for the lift, even though they had the boots. Kunkka's just a little bit too fast in reaction timing. So at least for this time, HOG are not going to be able to secure the kill, and the rotation is more or less wasted.
Yeah, so this time Freak was paying attention and actually, realized that top was missing. He's going to race for the Invis rune, and it's not going to get it. It's another rune going the way of the Death Prophet. Kunkka is doing perfectly fine in this lane, however. He's able to poke pretty well with the Tidebringer extra damage. Of course, he's going to take Crypt Swarms in response, but nothing really you could do about that as a melee hero. The Centaur has snuck himself down to a very, very nice position now. As long as he's not spotted out by this Earthshaker, he's going to be able to steal a lot of experience from this wave, and well, it seems like XPC are none the wiser, so easy experience for the Centaur.
Yeah, I don't know, it's something that's really cheeky, but if you can get away with it, by all means, he'll be able to get a lot of those extra creeps still behind the Nyx Assassin, who's managed to find himself level 4. Mostly due to the creep equilibrium that he's had in the Radiant offlane, it's been a lot more beneficial for him. The Earthshaker's currently roaming towards mid and might net themselves a kill as the Death Prophet's diving the tower, but with a haste rune, Cryptstorm's going to miss, and now with the X marks onto her into the torrent, is it well timed? It is, and Magla Gang Train looks like he's going to be one to die. They TP'd in their Luna there. That's actually a lot of commitment that they didn't need.
Yeah, I mean, your Kunkka in a little bit of trouble is definitely enough to warrant a teleportation. Not from your Luna, though. That's exactly what Luna does not want to be doing. She wants to be sitting on the bottom lane, and she doesn't ever want to leave. Top lane, Nyx Assassin is going to spike Carapace and defend himself against the Shackles, which unfortunately is possible to actually land versus the Nyx if the spike Carapace is well timed. Fissure's going to fly, and it's going to be on the wrong side, but the bottom lane is where the aggression is going to happen. Concussive shot, no Eclipse needed. Centaur getting obliterated on bottom. I didn't catch that, but I don't know if that should have happened.
It shouldn't have, but Luna was able to rotate back in towards the lane, and the Centaur thought he was safe since the TP coming out from the Luna was in mid, but with 380 movement speed, she came in there catching the Centaur off guard, and then just the Lucent Beams as well as the Arcane Bolts were enough to bring him down.
Alright, Centaur, well that's your death. That's the one that you get. Mascari already got his as well. This Nyx Assassin has to be shackled while he's still up in the air, or at least moving downwards. If he lands, he will get the Spike Carapace off, and then Ki is only, actually he's level 4, so he should have a Hex. So that will be, a great counter to the Spike Carapace, and he doesn't actually have to use Shackle, because Shackle is impossible to stick onto that Nyx. But Lifestealer is crucially getting a lot of farm. Luna's getting just a touch more, because she did get that kill, but still Lifestealer has a Hand of Midas, and Luna, she has only Power Treads.
Yeah, it's the Hand of Midas currently, as well as the last couple of CS, that's keeping the Lifestealer in net worth ahead. But yeah, their game impact right now is pretty similar, although as this game goes later, Lifestealer is going to hit his peak before the Luna does, and at about 15 to 20 minutes in, Lifestealer is going to be king. Right now he's impaled up, and now the follow-up Fissure, he might die. Infested in a creep, he'll be just fine. I don't know, not sure why they didn't follow that up with just one auto attack would have been enough. They weren't in position.
Yeah, I don't think they even realized that the Lifestealer would take that much damage. Perhaps they just had it in their minds that Rage means Lifestealer won't die, and it's pretty hard to go for a kill like that when you don't have something like a Vendetta to get that huge burst of physical damage. If you're working with purely spells, you gotta respect that Rage. If you overcommit and he gets the Rage off and you end up missing a skill or something like that, then you could very easily get things turned around because of the amount of damage Lifestealer can put out early on. The Earthshaker has rotated out of the top lane. It's been wandering the map for quite some time now. Going to pay a visit to mid, but ultimately nothing going to happen there. Ki is also going to rotate out. We see some super defensive Observer wards from the
Centaur. He's going to get caught up by the concussive shot, the silence, and now the Eclipse. He's so dead. Not even sure if Eclipse was necessary. Only 2 beams did that. With the extra amplification on that magic damage, when you're isolated like that, it's not good times.
Mid lane, boat's going to come through, and it will hit onto Magla Gang Train. The Shackles are going to get interrupted due to a Fissure, and Cell's going to walk right in. He has the Rum on him, so he's taking pretty much no damage. The Cleave almost killing off the Shadow Shaman. but Death Prophet taking so much damage from that realm, and Kunkka bottling up straight after. Has another X Torrent combination. What is the Courier doing here? Get that Courier out of here. Fissure from the back end, and a huge cleave from Freak. 5-1 in XPC. Last game it seemingly was a fluke, because this game they're making all the right rotations, they have pretty much all the right lanes, and they're just playing this so much cleaner.
Yeah, it's looking a lot better for them. It's almost time for this Nyx Assassin to start roaming around, getting very close to that level of 6, but this Kunkka has been on the point. Freak's been playing very well with it, 3-0-0, now rotating towards top with an Invis Rune. They do have the rage to break it, so I'm not sure if they're actually going to be able to get this, but with a Vendetta, maybe, just maybe.
Well, Mass Carry is not that healthy, so going for this is incredibly risky. Using physical to try to burst down a Lifestealer is always a risky proposition, though it is probably the best way to do it. I think Mass Carry is just way too low to make anything happen. If they have a single support hero behind that Lifestealer, then well, Nyx is going to be eaten alive, and it's a little bit of an unnecessary risk. However, well, Malum might have spotted out that Kunkka. I believe he was just in sentry range.
I don't think he did with the way that this Rubik's playing. Like, if I spotted a Kunkka, like, out here, well, I'm not sure I'd be standing where he is. And with the Lifestealer farming that way, I'm not sure. That would have been very close if he actually got the vision. They could bottle up the Nyx Assassin and then maybe go for it, but they'll start a mana burn. Kunkka is visible now, and he should probably bottle up. There goes Massacre. He's going to be lifted up, stuns up the Kunkka. For now, just a lot of wasted time. They aren't able to combo up any of their skills.
Yeah, they're looking for a gank in with the Lifestealer. He does have level 3 open wounds and power treads, so he's able to close the distance pretty quickly and put out some serious damage if they get a beat on any hero, but now that Rubik has a completely empty mana pool, I don't really think that's going to happen anymore. If they had Stampede from Centaur, definitely they would have gone for that, but Centaur still is only level 5, and he's still working away down in the bottom lane. Massacre has left the top lane, he's a Vendetta and looking for blood over in mid. And I don't think Maglev knows about this. He's going to find a double damage rune and then probably just double back to his lane, and he will do just that. Vendetta will time out and he will be spotted, but top lane, the Stampede has been used, but a huge cleave. Once again, getting to give Kunkka the kill, and now Key stuck in the corner. Gonna get the Hex on the Earthshaker, but still the Lifestealer just not doing enough damage versus this rummed up Kunkka. Now he's gonna get X marks, doesn't have a rage left, has stick charges, but here comes Maglev with double damage rune. Crypt Swarm will kill off the Kunkka. Now the Enchant Totem onto Benser, won't kill him off, he's still alive at 93 HP, but they have Squirt coming. There's the Eclipse, will hit squarely onto Maglev. That's 3 beams that's going to hit, not enough to get the kill, and Luna will fall back shortly after. Maglev getting hit with an Impale through the trees, and then Mystic Flare from the side as well. Sticking around for way too long. Massacre is going to close in and get the kill on the Rubik as well, but it's actually Skywrath to take both of those. 9-3, and XPC made a nice 4-for-3 trade, 4-for-2 trade, I believe.
I think so. After all is said and done, I think that's what the trade was. It's unfortunate that Kunkka had to die, but they just did not respect the Kunkka's damage there. And at the end, a really sick Impale coming out from Nyx Assassin across the trees. Not sure if he had vision of that, but just perfect.
Skywrath Mage coming at the perfect time also, and now in the bottom lane, Boat, Torrent, X. Boat is going to just narrowly miss, but Freak is going to chase this Centaur down most likely. Gets a huge cleave off. Centaur is going to be forced to TP out. If that Boat hit, that would have been a nice clean kill for the Kunkka, but yeah, this Kunkka has been getting lots of cleave kills. Like, you normally don't see that many, but the amount of damage he's putting out with that level 4 Tidebringer, plus having Claymore and a Phase Boots, he's hitting really hard and with a pretty wide spread as well. XPC, they're playing this one very well, and Lifestealer, though he did have the magic immunity, did survive, wasn't able to contribute nearly enough damage versus the rummed up Kunkka.
Yeah, for now we're going to see the next Vendetta rotation coming out from the Nyx Assassin. He has enough for 1 Impale, but no mana burn after that, but I think the Rubik is just going to die. Concussive Shot to start things off. Vendetta, he does have vision with the Sentry Ward in mid, looking for the Vendetta hit. No, just going to go for the Impale mana burn. He got the extra mana from the Arcane Boots of Skywrath, and that's a very sad Rubik.
House of Gamers, they're not showing up as strong a performance as last game, as now the Kunkka going to go once again for the Torrent Boat combination. Let's see if it's going to land. Well, the X marks completely whiffs, and now the Stampede Fissure will hit onto the Centaur, but the chain stun is not there. Stomp onto Freak, but still the Centaur is dropping pretty low. Key's going to get the Hex off, but that's a fast sheep. Kunkka's going to book it. Run, Kunkka, run. Phase Boots, which is doing nothing. Telekinesis up to the high ground a little bit, and now into the enemy base he goes, but he's not going to escape.
He dives to the tower.
It's going to be a kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, they get the kill onto the Lifestealer, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm assuming that he just got silenced up by the Skywrath Mage and then bursted down by the Luna as well as those consecutive Arcane Bolts. The Kunkka did die to the tower, so I'll say that that trade actually favors XPC despite it being a 1-for-1. He also used a lot of their time and resources in the form of those TP scrolls.
House of Gamers, crucially, have not gotten their push to come together at all yet. They have yet to go for a tower push, and really the tower damage they've put on is extremely minimal. Like 300-ish HP, 600 on the middle lane. It's not that much that they've actually done so far, and that's with an Exorcism level 2 with level 4 Witchcraft. Their pushing is pretty much as strong as it's going to get, at least for a while, and now Malum in a little bit of trouble, though. Sub-Zero doesn't have the mana to kill him off. The Arcane Bolts might be enough, won't be enough. Malum, though, is going to get, well, completely dodge the Impale, and then he will walk out of there. The Exorcism doing so much damage versus everybody. That's a little bit more of the XPC of last game, and I don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah, not really. They just dove very headlong into the Death Prophet with level 11 Exorcism. That stuff hurts. And they couldn't do it. The stick charges coming out from Rubik saved him from the Nyx Assassin. Had that Impale hit, maybe? Rubik is actually going to die to the Earthshaker. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It looks like it was just a fissure. Very weird path for the Earthshaker to take, but this will secure them a tier 1 tower up in top. The X-Mark is going to bring Maglev back into tower range, but that's going to be all that's traded. Yeah, Earthshaker wanted that Rubik really bad.
Yeah, and he got him, but that means the Earthshaker wasn't around in order to defend the top lane. I don't think they would have had a defense, but you know, with the level 2 boat on their side now, they can realistically defend these towers. It'll be hard with the Serpent Wards and everything, but definitely it's a possibility. A 3-4-man boat can instantly win you the fight, especially this early on when boat is level 2. That skill hurts a lot, and it's pretty much always available in fights.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous, and not to mention the rum buff that's going to be on there for 10 seconds. It's really strong. But yeah, what do you think Kunka's build is going to be with this Claymore? Are you on the boat with the Battle Fury into Blink Dagger, or is this just going to be a Shadow Blade as per tradition?
I think it's just going to be a Shadow Blade. If he was going to go for a Battle Fury, then, well, I mean, he's still 10 gold off of the other sword, but I really just think the Shadow Blade build is pretty much the build to go for on Kunkka. Battle Fury, the cleave, it does stack with the Tidebringer, but just such a lesser cleave range means that it's very rarely going to get value unless everyone from House of Gamers are all clumped up. And if that's the case, then you probably already won. And now Cell is going to run right into a whole army of heroes. And, well, Sub-Zero is going to get lifted up into the air, Cyclone, and he's going to be met with a whole bunch of pain. But huge Impale from Massacre. He will get punished by his life, and a boat coming in as well. Betzer is going to be dropped pretty low, but Sub-Zero still alive because no one's actually focusing him. They need a Fade Bolt. They need something, but the Rum keeping that Skywrath alive. The Lifestealer does get away with his life. They take the Death Prophet down, ultimately in a 2-for-1 trade. This Kunkka, his Rum is getting so much value in this game.
It was still a pretty good fight for House of Gamers, although Nyx Assassin and Earthshaker are probably less important kills than the Death Prophet. It is still a 2-for-1 after all is said and done. Kunkka got a really nice double torrent as well as double boat there, and it will be the Shadow Blade as we were mentioning earlier. But yeah, the Rum is definitely paying off for itself, as consistently you're going to see heroes escaping with very little HP, like the Skywrath Mage. Now with the Vitality Booster as well, we're probably going to see that even more. I'm assuming this is an Atos on him, but oh, Shadow Blade. Coming out from the Kunkka, looking for the Lifestealer. They need a little bit more backup, potentially start off with something like the Impale coming out from the Nyx Assassin, and now they keep him in place with Torrent Fissure. He's just not going anywhere. Fissure not, rather, Torrent not even necessary.
That's about 200 without the Tidebringer, then you get that plus 60, then you get that plus 150. That is a crap ton of physical burst damage coming out from this Kunkka. Double damage rune really coming into use there, and well, they probably would have gotten the kill even if the Kunkka didn't have a double damage. I feel like they just had him locked down for long enough. The Torrent was even there, and it was pretty well timed, and now the Kunkka going to use the rest of that double damage rune to, well, look for a kill on the Death Prophet. Stampede, though, he hit the Death Prophet very hard. Mystic Flare is going to completely whiff. A Sub-Zero does get brought down now with Death Prophet up into the air. Exorcism still going to town, but the Fissure, or the Kunkka actually will kill him off. Now the Eclipse stolen by Maglum will kill off the Luna, a bit of his own medicine now. Key will dodge the boat, get a Hex onto Freak, has another Shackle, but can't really do anything with it as Massacre does blink forward for an Impale, which will completely whiff. Key is on the run, but Phase Boots the Shadow Blade. He's not going to escape. Goodbye, Key. Gonna give Freak a dominating streak. It's a 3-for-2 trade going the way of XPC. Though they do lose a tier 1 tower, they're gonna be completely okay with that.
Yeah, it's kind of expected that when you have Serpent Wards and whatnot on the ground, that those towers are going to fall. They still get a better kill trade, although they lost their Luna, which is unfortunate. Especially with the build she went, it's quite possibly the greediest build you can go for Luna. With the Helm of Dominator as well as Hand of Midas into Yasha. I think the only greedier item would be a Mask of Mana. So Ancients have been blocked up, but she's still able to do quite a bit to those, and it's unfortunate that she won't have any more stacks for a bit, but she's still farming very well in this game, despite dying twice.
She's getting a lot of items for herself, but more importantly, she's getting more than the Lifestealer. And in a late game scenario, the way Luna versus Lifestealer works is that, well, Lifestealer is going to try to burst Luna down within the Rage and the open wounds. If Luna has a Manta style, it's going to be difficult for the Lifestealer to accomplish. So Lifestealer generally needs a little bit of help. Now they're going to chase down Freak. They have a gem on someone. Yes, Rubik is invisible with the gem, so he's got all the invisibility manipulation right now, but Luna's just getting so much in this game, and she got the Midas later than the Lifestealer, but she's just contributing so much more, getting more for the team. Lifestealer dying twice, not helping his case, and Be My Enemy, well, this might be his death, because they have a lift up, they have a Stampede, blink forward, first stomp, double edge, Crypt Swarm, easy kill on the Luna. Meantime, top lane, Stampede being used to initiate up there. Mass Carry surviving just barely due to the Vendetta. Now a Mystic Flare onto Key, will escape, might not escape, Birds. Well, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Yep. The Impel miss just barely clipped him as Scarth Mage picks up the Shadow Shaman. The Radiant Structures are fortified as mid. Exorcism going. He gets a nice fish on a Maglet Gang Train. And now the Shadow Blade Kunkka gets a big cleave onto everybody. They're just so darn low, but they pull back Freak into the double edge of Shlij. They'll be able to get that kill. And still, HOG are looking strong despite everybody falling very low. Tier 2 tower is going to be defended by those kills, and Exorcism is going to wear off. Oh, Blink open wounds onto Earthshaker. He'll be ripped to shreds. Not much that Nick Sesson could do there. Rubik's hiding inside the tree, so I'm not sure if they're going to find him. Oh, as they go in the backlines, Eul Scepter up. They're going to get a double hoop stop. The double edge is going to go majorly onto Sub-Zero. They're not going to be able to clean up Shlid's. The last auto attack is not enough, and they'll be able to clean up everybody. 18 to 16 our kill score, and XPC just getting picked off seemingly one by one.
This Centaur, I said it in the last game, he got shut down, but he also managed to contribute a whole lot. This game, it's looking to be the exact same scenario. He was going to go for the Blink Dagger pipe that I was describing earlier, but he just manned up, like jumping in for a two-man hoof stomp. The Nyx Assassin blinked forward, looking for an Impale, and he felt pretty secure, I'm sure, but that was only until the Centaur got his hoofs into the ground, and Nyx Assassin crumbled really quickly. Also kind of peculiar that actually is weird, but helps House of Gamers a lot, is the fact that Lifestealer got a Blink Dagger. Usually we don't see this because he just has that infest. He goes into the Centaur, and then you have the Lifestealer bomb. Pretty standard Lifestealer stuff there. But spending a lot of gold in order to reposition himself, not sure if it's entirely worth it, but in that scenario, it definitely helped.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like it if you go for drums first, but I don't know. I really do like Blink Dagger on Lifestealer because Open Wounds, although it has a decent amount of range, and with Centaur, you're probably going to be able to get the jump on him. If you can get an item to surprise the enemy team and win you one fight, it's worth it, and then it's still going to be useful, despite not being the most conventional of pickups. I would have liked to see him maybe get the Armlet first and then into Blink, and then he would have had them both by now, but then again, he wouldn't have had the Blink before that last fight. So it's paying off, as Roshan is going to be taken by Exorcism and Serpent Wards.
Death Prophet's getting really close to her Bloodstone. She already has the Soul Booster up, and she's probably going to catch Skyrath Mage, although Nighttime Vision not working out for her. In the back, they do see the Earthshaker, but they can't get a disable onto anyone. Their top lane's being pressured, and Master Carry should be able to take that one out, especially with Freak's damage output to help. But they're going to go for bottom, it looks like. No Exorcism, no Serpent Ward, so this push is going to be slow. But with so many blinks, they could just initiate onto whoever is silly enough to get close to this tower. And Benser's positioning, he clearly wants to do that.
Yeah, he will be tagged by Concussive Shot, Arcane Bolt, but if he knew that it was just like a Skyrath or Luna, he could jump into that very liberally if he had backup. We now have another Blink being picked up by the Earthshaker, and this one is going to make it hard for HOG to push high ground, but now the Lifestealer gets a little bit more relevant with the pickup of the Armlet. We've kind of had a lull of the action as they've just gone for these tower trades for now, but I don't know. HOG as well as XPC, they have a lot of tools in order to start these fights off on their own terms.
Yeah, so the initiation is going to be absolutely crucial, and I think even more crucial is who's going to be initiated upon. Luna is still without a BKB. She has gone for the for the Yasha, and then is going to go straight for a BKB. At least I hope it's a BKB, but in top lane Centaur is going to be the target of focus. They got the Torrent, which is going to hit freehand, plus the Vendetta, plus the everything. The boat is going to land and get the kill there. Centaur is tanky with that hood, but definitely not tanky enough. This physical damage from the Kunkka is starting to get really scary, and he's going to just hold the Chrysalis and go for BKB. So XPC, they're going to be ready to fight as soon as they get these BKBs up. And then at that point, they have to worry about Lifestealer and Death Prophet. But again, Lifestealer is going to struggle to keep onto his target with everyone having Magic Immunity. They're going to jump right forward onto Maglib with the Mystic Flare. Easy kill on the Aegis. Is there anything else that they could do here? Well, they're being converged upon, so it looks like they will back off for now. Malum looking for a lift on someone, but won't find anyone.
Yep, no positioning tool on him won't be able to bridge the gap. They do have the Earthshaker as well as the Skywrath Mage here, and if they get caught out, it could be problematic. They have the Nyx Assassin in reserve as well. We do have the Life Store blinking forward, and they're looking potentially for Nyx Assassin. They pop the Exorcism prematurely, and that's away from a tower. Big win for XPC.
Yeah, Cell was really bold standing there. It looked like the House of Gamers side saw him for a lot longer than they actually did, so Exorcism completely wasted, and everyone from XPC gets out scot-free, so nothing but wins there for them, and, well, Betzer's going to run to Freak. Shadowblade on Kunkka means that Lifesteal actually can't get this kill, even if he tried, and he will just go into that invisibility. And actually, Earthshaker hasn't teleported out. He's still here. He actually doesn't even have a TP, but this might be way more than he could actually, he's bargained for, because a two-man stomp. They don't know it's two-man, but a huge Echo Slam onto 3. The Chainsaw's going to be perfect. Malum's going to drop first, and then everyone else, the Torrent both coming in to kill off Benzer. It'll miss, but that's fine, because they got the kill anyway. Key is suddenly 1v4, soon to be 2v4 with the Death Prophet arriving, but she doesn't have an Exorcism up, and here comes a Luna with an Eclipse, going to drop it instantly. The Hex is not going to save you now, Shadow Shaman. The Serpent Ward's still firing away at Be My Enemy, but it's not going to be enough. Masakari looking for the last hero in the Death Prophet, but House of Gamers get utterly demolished in that fight. Oh man, looking really good still for XPC.
That was sick. After the pickoff on some heroes over towards the side there, it was looking to potentially turn around for HOG. I don't know. It was... yeah, not the worst since they didn't lose their gem. Death Prophet was able to pick that one up, but still, that combo coming out from them. That Earthshaker sticking around without a TP ended up paying out huge. Kunkka is so low, and this is the Kunkka run buff coming in big. He'll drop the boat, or no, just a torrent before going back to base. He does not X himself before TPing since he doesn't have his bottle anymore. But he'll be back for the next push, as this tier 2 tower is going to fall without him.
It's a one fight, and Luna did not use a BKB charge there, so she will still have that in the future. And Kunkka, well, he doesn't quite have his yet, but he'll get his soon enough. And XPC, they just got so much AoE value. They had Luna to come in at probably not the ideal time, because she would have really liked to be there earlier to drop the Eclipse and really get more assists and more kills and whatnot. But Kunkka getting a huge combo after being set up perfectly by the Earthshaker. I mean, House of Gamers, they got a two-man stomp, and you can't really get much better than that when you're initiating with the Centaur, even though they didn't know it was two-man at the time. They just couldn't get enough burst damage onto the Kunkka, and he slipped away because of the Earthshaker play. This Blink Dagger was huge on the Earthshaker, and he was still up in the trees. I don't know if he had a TB scroll for any of that duration, but one way or another, it worked out for them. They're going to blink forward and try to kill off this Kunkka. They're going to Stampede as well. They need that Yules to connect. There it is. And then lift or stomp or everything. They're going to burn everything they have with the Exorcism as well to kill off that Kunkka. He's real dead, and they might be able to take down this tier 2. Yeah, it's not that healthy. It's going to be a tier 2 at the very least for House of Gamers, but it might be a trade for bottom.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be that. Although Exorcism is online, they're fighting up against backdoor protection. It's just not enough. They'll be able to push it very slowly until the creeps come. They won't be able to force up to high ground because Exorcism will wear off, and, well, tier 2 tower down in bottom isn't pushing that fast. They might be able to force back some reactions, especially with the Serpent Wards, actually. So, I don't know, tier 3 tower might be forced out here by HOG. XPC are just fairly lagging in their reaction here.
There are no creeps, so the Echo Slam's not looking too good, but they don't have a Kunkka for another 20 seconds. These Serpent Wards still working away at that tower, bringing it down about 50 damage a pop. So, Cell's looking for that Echo Slam opening, but will settle for just throwing out a couple fissures here and there. I don't think House of Gamers are expecting to get any more than this tower, but I think they will just get this tower regardless. They might be denied. Luna going to start cleaning those up as Maxari going to jump forward for a Mist Impale, will instantly be stolen and silenced now. It looks like everyone from House Gamers will escape, although a Fissure plus the Mystic Flare on Death Prophet will kill her off instantly. So this is going to jump in for a two-man, and then the Impale returned by Malum is going to also catch the Luna, who didn't pop out the BKB. Freak is still around in this fight, but he actually can't get his hands on anyone. Lifestealer is going to infest and instantly bomb on that Earthshaker. Now Freak finally popping out and will kill off the Shadow Shaman. Sub-Zero, though, going to get his wounds open. Chase down, has the Rod of Atos, won't help him enough. Be My Enemy does not have an Eclipse available. They get an X-Mark onto the Centaur, but the damage onto Freak is so huge with Malum stealing so many skills. Now has the Torrent stolen, though it looks like it will miss. Be My Enemy finally getting the BKB out, but after all is said and done, XPC, they're forced to buy back with a couple heroes. I don't think House of Gamers bought back with a single one. It's a really nice fight for the Dire.
It really is. That forced out the buyback on your Luna as well as the Skywrath. It's going to be a full team wipe if you include those buybacks, and Although they don't kill the heroes after buying back, that's going to delay their item progression quite a bit. They did not really focus the lifesteal at all, and now they're going to jump on to be my enemy as he's getting open wounds, follow-up torrent, she's dead! And now Scarlet Mage looks for the ultimate, but it's not going to be doing very much as the Force Staff comes out, and I think the lifesteal is out scot-free.
Malum has had some pretty impressive steals. He will get clipped with a fissure, but I think he still has room to move. Oh, he doesn't. But neither does the Earthshaker, so Malum's going to dodge and impale, but yeah, I don't think he was going to get out of there. Trapped like a rat, and Rubik does go down, but that impale that he stole and that was whiffed from Akasari was absolutely huge. He got 2 people with that, and if you could hit 2 people with an impale ever, that's great. If you could do it as a Rubik and then steal a skill shortly after, well, then it literally does not get any better than that, except for maybe stealing an Echo Slam or a boat or something, but that's not going to happen. So at the end of the day, House of Gamers, they don't take the tower down, but they take a really nice fight and force out a lot of buyback, so they should be happy with how that went.
Yeah, and that's going to flip our graphs up on side their head with those buybacks being spent. Luna, although BKB is a nice item to have, if you don't click the button, it does very little for you, except for give you a little bit of health and damage, but that's negligible compared to the Avatar, and she used it at the end, it didn't do anything, so, I don't know, it's possibly poor reaction time on the Luna, or just maybe not very used to playing with BKB heroes. We're going to have a completed Desolator on the Lifesteal, and if the damage last time was huge, it's going to be even bigger, probably going to be forced to give up his Midas fairly soon, as I think he'll still want his TP scroll, but for now, that can replace the TP.
He actually got rid of his drums, so gonna ship that one out and keep the TP and Midas. Needs that gold, man. Sub-Zero up on the high ground with everyone else. The smoke is going to be dispelled, although House Gamers don't know about. There's the fissure and to impale. Key should be brought down instantly. They will take out the Shadow Shaman. They're even going to bait out the pipe. But now House of Gamers, they're down their Shadow Shaman. They still can technically take this fight, although I don't really see a reason why they should. Even some XPC heroes are still in that smoke. Actually, no, they re-smoked straight after. Oh, this could be really smart from them. They have a boat, and in these close corners, the Kunkka is going to reign supreme with his BKB. The Luna has an Eclipse, and she's closing in as well. Maglev is going to be jumped upon, but it's actually going to be the Centaur. Don't focus Centaur, focus on Maglev. They're going to pop everything in the book and throw the boat, which will connect straight onto the Centaur, but Lifestealer in the middle of the fight will try to take out Massacre. He won't be successful in doing so, although he will in the end. He's getting focused down by way too much physical damage. HOG, without any skill stolen, Exorcism not lasting for nearly long enough, gonna get cleaned up. And this game is looking actually remarkably even as XPC take a poor fight, then a great fight, and then they're going to go into Roshan, which they should be able to clean up pretty easily.
Buyback on the Lifestealer. This is looking eerily familiar to the fight that they took next to their base. And now Lifestealer, he wants some blood, and he gets the Scarlet Mage. Gems on the ground. He won't be able to pick that one up as he doesn't have the slot for it. Now there's a Fissure thrown out, and Benzer might be looking for the biggest steal of his life. Not going to go for it. They do blink in with Key, however, and Key's just going to get ripped to shreds. He gets a nice block and be my enemy, but they don't have the follow-up. There's the Lifestealer up on the high ground. It's going to rip to shreds the Earthshaker. Kunkka throws his boat towards the high ground. It's not going to do anything. The open wounds go to Freak, and now Freak going to be ripped apart with the armlet as well as the Desolator. Just doing so much damage. Now be my enemy looking pretty dead here. Will they be able to chase him down with the Force Staff? They do have no lift, but they'll get the Aegis. Oh my goodness, English is failing me. The open wounds will come out. Does she have her BKB available? I don't think so. Not for another 7 seconds, and she is so screwed here. She's caught between the Lifestealer and the Rubik, and now the Lucid Beam stolen and returned to her. HOG fighting back. It's so back and forth, these engagements. The buyback on the Lifestealer is going to work out a lot better than the one on the Luna just minutes ago.
And that fight went that well mostly because of Key. He dropped the Serpent Wards at pretty much the perfect position in between the exit and the rest of XPC's heroes. So they couldn't really leave without taking a lot of damage from the Serpent Wards, and HOG, they managed to keep the fight there for a very long time. With the Desolator adding to that damage, well, they're actually going to open up the Centaur, land the boat, but at this point, not doing nearly enough. They're getting a lift up onto Freak, but a huge 3-man impale, and then a nice cleave through from Freak to try to kill off anyone he can. They're going to throw the Scarlet into the air, but a little bit of miscommunication as Benzer, well, he actually will get the Sub-Zero kill in the end. There's another Torrent going to land onto the Centaur. He will be hit with one more. There, he's going to go down. Maglev's sitting in the middle of everything with the Exorcism, but it's not doing enough damage to Massacre. He's dropping pretty low with the Bloodstone. He is surviving for now. There is a Blink Enchant Totem, which will completely whiff, though I don't think the Death Prophet's going to escape. It's a huge Enchant Totem hit onto that Death Prophet, going to get the kill. It's just a seesaw battle back and forth constantly. Lifestealer wasn't really even a part of that fight, and well, everyone's going to be forced to fall back. I don't even know who's winning in this game. I don't even know if there is a clear winner.
There's really not. If you look at the gold graph, the highest advantage that we've had for either team is XPC with 4,000, but now it's 2,000 in favor of HOG, and that lead is negligible as far as these fights are concerned, and experience pretty much the same story. I have no idea how the next fight is going to go, to be honest. The high ground has been breached. The tier 3 tower was last hit by the Centaur, but as low as it was going to die one way or another. But a little bit of extra gold going the way of HOG, so slight favor towards House of Gamers, but no clear winners. These team fights are just so dependent on who actually gets to jump first.
In House of Gamers, they don't really have that many great ways of initiating outside of the Blinking Centaur. I guess they do have the Blink Shadow Shaman, which is really good at one person. If they could focus that person down, then that's great. And especially if Lifestealer starts to use his Infest offensively. I don't think I've actually seen a single Infest bomb just yet. Infesting into the Shadow Shaman is pretty damn good, because if you get a Hex on someone, then the Lifestealer is just going to open up a whole can of whoop-ass on that one target, and they're probably going to die. I don't care if you're a Luna or a Kunkka. When Lifestealer is beating down at you and you have the Shadow Shaman with the disables, it's not going to be you're not going to have long for life. And well, Lifestealer is going to ship out the Hand of Midas and find a Hyperstone probably. Yeah, Assault Cuirass probably going to be the next pickup for Lifestealer. He's getting a frighteningly large amount of farm. Luna hasn't really gotten many items since her BKB.
Yeah, she really hasn't. There was a casual gem sitting over by the Roshan pit that I have no idea how it got there. Eventually it will be spied out by the Centaur, and then Shadow Shaman picks that up. But yeah, Be My Enemy is kind of stagnated as far as item progression is concerned, and once this Assault Cuirass comes out from the Lifestealer, he's really going to be the king of the hill. He has so much minus armor coming out from those two items, and the plus armor is going to be very useful up against the Kunkka as well as the Luna on top of it. Yeah, it's kind of then that I feel that House of Gamers are going to need to really ramp up the action and try to actually break high ground. They definitely have the tools to do it with Death Prophet as well as Shadow Shaman and the minus armor from the Lifestealer. But if they wait this out, Kunkka and Luna are going to get a couple of more big items, and that's going to be problematic.
And it looks like Kunkka has actually completed up his Daedalus, so he's already been hitting like an absolute truck. If he gets focused down in the fight, then I don't see House of Gamers losing a fight, but, you know, getting this Kunkka actually killed involves clustering around him and trying to kill him off. And then at that point, Earthshaker and Nyx Assassin have a very, very large safe opening. They're going to find the Centaur, who's instantly going to go into the pipe, and the boat's going to come in. Stampede will not dodge it, but now the Eclipse is going to happen, and Be My Enemy going to work on everyone. Key's going to drop the Serpent Wards, but he's not going to get any of these spells off, in fact. Where's the Lifestealer finally coming in, but it's a little bit too late. He's going to get Chain Stun. He's going to restore a lot of life onto Be My Enemy, but he's dropping so low into the Infest now, as he does get a pretty nice bomb onto 3, but he's taking so much damage from this Kunkka. Cannot race this Daedalus. He's going to go down. The Death Prophet's the only one to survive in the BKB form. She's going to now fight up against the two supports, trying to find some peace within those Serpent Wards, but another damage combo from the Scath Mage will kill her off. House of Gamers, they all drop, and I think it's because the Lifestealer was a little bit too late to that fight.
It really was. Had he been auto-attacking just a couple of seconds earlier, that would have been completely different. But yeah, it's going to be a full 5-man wipe, as House of Gamers are going to now reap the benefits of that Lifestealer buyback. 70 seconds without him available. This is a decent open for XPC, although losing their Kunkka and their Luna is going to make sure that they're not able to take any tier 3 towers, but I think this tier 2 tower in mid might fall.
Well, they're all going to the bottom lane, and Earthshaker and Nyx still have yet to heal up, so they're going to tend to their lanes and, you know, just try to get as much farm as they can on these supports. It's a rare opportunity for supports to get farm, so they're going to make good on that. Luna has completed the Yasha into a Manta style, which did help a little bit versus the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer is just doing so much damage that he actually at this point needs more survivability. The mech is the Assault Cuirass is going to be pretty huge. There is someone at my door, but I'm going to ignore that. The Assault Cuirass is going to be huge when dealing with that Kunkka.
Yeah, it definitely is, as the Assault Cuirass is completed for the Lifestealer, so if they have everything that they need to start these fights all lined up and are actually able to get the jump, the team fight from HOG is still pretty solid, although that last engagement started out with a pickoff on the Rubik, and then House of Gamers just kind of fell in one after another to try to back him up, and that's why that fight broke out. Maybe if they just left the Rubik for dead, that would have turned out better for them.
Alright, so they got the Assault Cuirass, they have the Desolator, that's a huge amount of minus armor, so Death Prophet as well as Shadow Shaman going to be a little bit happy about that, and the Roshan's just got a lot easier from House Gamers. Though Lifestealer doesn't have any direct lifesteal versus the Roshan, he doesn't actually need it with Armlet. He will be able to bring the Roshan down quickly enough, and worst comes to worst, he'll open the wounds of Roshan and lifesteal that way. So Roshan is going to be a heavily contested point in this game moving forward. XPC, they have a fantastic Roshan lineup, and House Gamers, it's just a matter of can they sneak this one. It's not going to be up for another couple minutes, but once it does come up, it will pretty much determine who's going to win the next fight.
Yeah, and well, the person who's going to fight the next fight is going to be House of Gamers, as they're trying to initiate this on their terms with a smoke into the enemy jungle. Luna is farming up some camps with her illusions, and it's going to pop onto the Earthshaker. They thought that that was Luna. It's actually not. They stomp it up, and that's just the Manta Cells. So I think that's going to be a fight avoided as the Fissure lands on nothing as well. Skyreth is very far out. He's going to drop his ultimate, but Force Dive keeps the Rubik safe as they jump in with Miskarski. He's going to miss his Impale, and now Sub-Zero looks like he's going to be the first casualty of wars. The BKB popped up by Death Prophet very late. All of the BKBs are coming out. Be My Enemy right-clicking up against and the Eclipse is stolen by the Rubik. He can't really get back into this fight. He's going to drop it. There is some creeps around, but it's going to focus down the Nyx as he tries to get another Impale, and now Lifesteal is joining the party, and he'll bring down the Earthshaker, and now Freak is also not looking too healthy. The BKBs are wearing off, and now they have the chance to lock them down. He throws an Ether Shock, though. He doesn't have a lot of mana to speak of. In fact, none at all. Freak is returning some damage to Death Prophet with Exorcism wearing off. She's healing up. Now the barracks look like they're going to fall. Buyback from the Kunkka. Not sure if he can defend this solo. They're just going to wait for the creeps and then take down the high ground. No buybacks available on the 3 that died.
They have to respect the blink initiation potential from the Centaur and, well, from the Lifestealer himself. Luna's going to drop very, very quickly, and now the minus armor is going to help break down these buildings so quickly. House of Gamers, they took what was really an awkward fight there. I was watching the Lifestealer the entire time, and for like 75% of that fight, he was off in the back, not hitting anyone. He was not getting hit, but he just wasn't participating. But it didn't matter, because XPC, they just couldn't kill off everyone else. Benser was just waiting and just waiting and waiting for his opportunity to strike. And he eventually got in there and dealt a lot of damage, but it could have been a little bit better for them. They're going to take down not one, but 2 sets of Raxes off of that fight. With Luna being dead for another 50 seconds, she does have a buyback, but even if she did buy back, I don't know if that would have been enough. They're going to lose 2 Raxes, and now House of Gamers, they're all going to successfully fall back, taking 2 Raxes, taking a devastating fight. It's also forcing a buyback from the Kunkka. Actually, they're going to turn around and Stampede. Blink. No Force Staff Stomp onto 2 with the Infest Bomb, but a huge Echo Slam, and then a boat. Crossing boats, in fact. I don't know who's going to get the upper hand here. It's going to be House of Gamers who lose 2 heroes. Maglev's going to pop the BKB, but he doesn't actually have any damage output thereafter, so he's actually doesn't have a TP either. It's going to be Death Prophet trying to run for her life, but I don't think that's going to happen. She pops the Exorcism for some reason. She's going to go down. House of Gamers, they lose a whole bunch of heroes. They do take the Raxes, though, but the boat and the Echo Slam combination, once again, proving to be devastating.
Yeah, that ended up being more of a turnaround into feed than turnaround into teamfight win. They thought they had the upper hand there, and, well, throughout most of the teamfights they'd be right, but fighting inside the enemy base, when you have the buyback available on the Luna, it was a really good fight. Not sure if the Luna buyback actually did anything, but everybody else was just doing so much damage. With the 3-man Echo Slam with the boat on top, their teamfight is sick, and you really have to respect that. They were looking really solid with the 2 lanes up, or 2 lanes down, rather, and they still look really good in this game, but they can't do that a couple more times. It's just not good for them. The Exorcism being popped isn't the biggest deal, but because I think that by 60 seconds, they'll have that available to push into the high ground once she comes back online. But this might be the Roshan towards XPC, so despite being 2 lanes of Rax down, they might be able to win the next fight as well.
Yeah, the Aegis and Cheese are going to be so large in this game, considering how scrappy the fights are. If they get themselves this Roshan, then they're going to have a huge advantage moving forward, and it looks like they will do it. Mascari is going to spot out that everyone's going to jump in. Hoof Stomp onto 2, but instantly the Centaur just bails out. He's going to go right back in and try to jack this Aegis. It's still being dropped low. Where's the Lifestealer? He needs to get into this fight, but he's teleporting in. He's nowhere close. Serpent are deployed, and the boat's going to fly. Apply the rum to everyone at the very least. Cheese is still on the floor, and they're looking for someone to pick it up, but now Cheese is going to jump right in. Mystic Flare is going to drop, not going to do much of anything. There's the Eclipse. Will kill off the Centaur. Then the Lifestealer still struggling to get in. The Serpent is still pecking away onto Be My Enemy. There's no Death Prophet ultimate right now. She crucially wasted it before. Freak's going to teleport out, but Be My Enemy, stuck in the Roshan pit, is going to get lifted up into the air and then demolished. Well, that's going to be the Aegis. I don't think she's going to escape. They don't have much in the way of crowd control. Oh, never mind. There's the Blink Shackle. Be My Enemy is going to lose the Aegis. So they get the Roshan, but at the end, do they even escape with the Cheese? No, they lose everything. House of Gamers take the fight, although it's going to be top lane that's the objective, and it shouldn't be easily done since it's very farly pushed out. But either way, House of Gamers, they take a decent fight.
Definitely a decent fight, although it could have gone a lot better. Yet again, in that engagement, Benser was like AFK or something. He was standing over on the high ground just waiting for his time to strike, and he didn't find it till very late into the engagement. Now they get the Hex onto Massacre, and it looks like he's just going to die straight up to the Exorcism. He's able to get the Dagon off onto Key before that happens with the Rage onto Benser. Looks like he wants to jump in, but there's no lane of racks that they can actually go for. The X-Mark Torrent onto the Death Prophet will catch her out. The Lifestealer is on the sidelines to get the Echo Slam solo onto Maglev Gangtrain. Maglev Gangtrain is going to follow the Sky with Mage ulti, or will she BKB? She's alive, and it looks like that's going to stay the way as the urn goes away positively, and now the lift, they're going to give a double kill to Maglev Gangtrain, and now the Exorcism, as it wears off, she'll survive, and now X-Mark stolen by the Ruvik will be broken by the BKB of the Kunkka. Lifestealer diving really deep into the base, and now Maglev Gangtrain back up to full.
Spencer with the minus armor. With no Exorcism, it doesn't really matter. They'll have Serpent Wards in a little bit, but without the mana, they can't really make good use of it. They're going to jump right into Freak once again. With that blinking Lifestealer getting so much value, they're going to throw a boat into the fountain, because why not? Sub-Zero is going to be farmed up now. I think House of Gamers should back off and just try to win this game, but instead they're going to try to BM a little bit. I don't think it matters that much, as Benser is going to just demolish the towers in the meantime. This is most certainly going to be GG. They're going to jump in once again, kill off the Skywrath Mage, and now Luna trying to Manta Style her way out of there, and well, she's really successful in doing so, but the Ancient is exposed, and it's dropping very quickly. That's GG, guys.
What a back and forth fight, but in the end, the ones that won the fight that actually mattered were House of Gamers. Transitioning to those 2 lanes of racks was wonderful for them. They didn't need the third, and that tier 2 tower is going to remain standing forever as the Ancient is going to fall first. That's going to round us out. House of Gamers, although it was a lot better showing coming out from XPC in Game 2, they are still going to lose the series 0-2, and that's all that we have here for HeflaTV 1 for today. I've been Granite Svi, he's been Mike Loris, and if you want to follow us more and watch our casting here on HeflaTV, you can follow our English channels at HeflaTV 1 and 2, as well as HeflaTV on Twitter and Facebook. The VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke later on today, or at the latest tomorrow. And then we will probably have some more games early in the morning. I think we're going to be casting MPGL really early, starting at, I believe, 13 CET, although I could be wrong. Other than that, thanks for watching, and GG to both teams.
I wish someone answered when I asked Lycan, but they didn't. GG, guys.
Yep.